Yeah.
All right. So I'm going to go ahead and call our meeting to order at 7:31 here. As a reminder, we've got some recitals to read, so let's start there. I'm calling the meeting of the Technology Committee to order. A physical quorum of the members is not present. However, pursuant to Section 7E of the Open Meetings Act, members are permitted to attend remotely. Either one member of the committee, the chief administrative officer, or our chief legal counsel are physically present at the regular meeting location. In-person attendance and public comments are allowed, subject to the attendance limitations required to ensure the health and safety of those who attend. Pursuant to the Illinois General Guidance to Public Bodies on the Open Meetings Act during the COVID pandemic dated July 2nd, 2020, county board members may participate without being physically present in compliance with the established provisions. Good morning. Can we start with a roll call, please?
Adams. Member Adams.
Was that?
Sorry, I'm here. I'm here.
Berlin. Carrier. Chavez.
Here.
DeCiani. Eckhoff.
Carrier is here.
Harvey.
That was Kathy Carrier.
I think
Oh, order.
Thank you. Hart. Henry. Member Henry. Thank you. Mendrick.
Here.
Rutledge. Here. Salmon.
Here.
White.
Here.
You do have a quorum.
Great. Thank you so much. I have nothing under chairwoman's remarks. Next up is public comment. Do we have any public comment this morning?
No.
All right. Moving right along. I'll make a motion to approve the minutes of January 26, 2021.
I'm not hearing any sound. Am I the only one?
I think so. Maybe, do you want to try to turn up your volume? I've had that happen on mine.
Or try it.
Treasurer Henry, is it any better now? Or is it still giving you trouble? Yeah.
Hold up the sign.
So maybe Wendy, could you try emailing Treasurer Henry on the side if you're in the room and see if we can give her some help, and then we'll just keep moving along here. We still have a quorum without her, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, so approval of the minutes for January 26, 2021. We need a motion and a second, please.
So moved, Rutledge.
Second, Chavez.
Great. Any comments, discussion on the minutes? No? Okay, let's call the roll, please.
Rutledge. Aye. Salmon.
Aye.
White.
Aye.
Adams.
Aye.
Berlin.
Aye.
Carrier.
Aye.
Chavez.
Aye.
DeCiani. Eckhoff.
Aye.
Hart. Henry. Mendrick.
Aye.
All ayes.
All right, great. Thank you. Those are approved. Next up is procurement requisitions. Our first item is TEP 2721, a recommendation for the approval of a contract to Park Place Technologies, LLC, for data center maintenance for post-warranty support on server equipment. This contract goes from March 1st, 2021 to February 28th, 2022, for a total of $31,932.46.
So moved, Rutledge.
You need a second, please?
Second, Chavez.
Great, thank you. Any comments or questions, or Don, anything you need to share with us here?
Nothing on this one.
All right, if we don't have any questions, let's go ahead and go to a roll call, please.
Rutledge. Aye. Spellman.
Aye.
White.
Aye.
Adams.
Aye.
Lynn.
Aye.
Carrier. Carrier. Chavez.
Aye.
DeCiani. Eckhoff.
Aye.
Hart. Henry. Member Henry. Mendrick.
Aye.
Could Sarah text me the phone number to call in?
Do we get someone in the room can do that for?
We don't know her phone number.
Oh,
Write it down and we'll hold it up on a sign or something.
could actually someone just put it, do we have the chat on this? Can someone just put the number in the chat?
Yeah.
No chat. All right, someone in the room has to have member or Treasurer Henry's cell phone number. Let's see. I don't think we can read it.
Yeah, it looks backwards.
I can't see it.
Oh, member Henry, do you have someone, you probably can't hear us, I guess.
Yeah.
I've got her number.
Okay, do you have the phone number for it, Grant?
Yeah, can I read it publicly or?
Or can you, well, do you have the phone number for this call? Sorry.
Well, probably somewhere on my computer, but
Okay. Sheila, do you have Grant's cell phone number?
Glenn.
Yes.
Can you text him the phone number to give to member Henry?
Oh, Nick's got it going.
Nick. Gwen, can you hear us?
I can hear you, Nick.
Oh,
Excellent.
It worked
good.
out.
Now we can hear. Very good. All right. Thank you, member Eckhoff, for your willingness to help there. All right. So
I'm here for.
yeah. All right. So we have completed the item A. Oh, the feedback on that's rough though.
When needs to use, you need to use? When can you use the computer and then you can hear me on the phone?
Perfect. All right. So next up is item B, that's TEP 29-21, recommendation for the approval of a contract purchase order to Comcast Cable for Internet Services. This contract goes from April 1st, 2021 through March 31st, 2022 for a contract total of $45,600. Motion and a second, please.
So moved. Chavez.
Second, Eckhoff.
All right, great. Any comments or discussion on this item? All right, seeing none, roll call, please.
Chavez,
Aye.
DeCiani, Eckhoff,
Aye.
Hart, Henry,
Aye.
Mendrick,
Aye.
Rutledge,
Aye.
Spellman,
Aye.
White,
Aye.
Adams,
Sorry. Aye.
Berlin,
Aye.
Carrier,
Aye.
all ayes.
Great, thank you. Next up is TEP 30-21, a recommendation for the approval of a contract to Environmental Systems Research Inc., ESRI, to provide maintenance and technical support for the county's enterprise GIS software. This contract goes from March 3rd, 2021 through March 8th, 2022 for a total amount of $115,426.95. Motion.
Rutledge.
Second Chavez.
Great. Any comments or questions or discussion on this item? No? Okay, roll call, please.
Rutledge,
Aye.
Spellman,
Aye.
White,
Aye.
Adams,
Aye.
Berlin,
Aye.
Carrier,
Aye.
Chavez,
Aye.
DeCiani, Eckhoff,
Aye.
Hart, Henry,
Aye.
Mendrick,
Aye.
all ayes.
Thank you. Next item is TEP 31-21, recommendation for the approval of a contract to Tyler Technologies, Inc. for the procurement, implementation, and maintenance of an integrated property tax solution for the treasurer, county clerk, supervisor of assessments, and IT for a total contract amount of $7,178,196.
So moved. Rutledge.
Second Chavez.
All right, great. We have a motion and a second. Member Rutledge.
Thanks, Chairwoman. In looking at the details of this bid, what was the date of the bid? Specifically, I'm looking, it had 162,500 for travel. And I'm thinking in the days of COVID and Zoom, and I don't know if there's an opportunity to revisit that.
Oh, of course, those are estimates. So that's an up to amount if travel even happens. And I think, to your point, we're probably not going to see very much of it.
So that was done way pre-pandemic, to your point. So yeah, that's just an estimate and absolutely will be revisited. It will be revisited as it goes. So Jim, anything you want to add on it?
For instance, normally we would have required them to be on site for a kickoff meeting, and that was done remotely. So we're already working remote with Tyler. So
Yeah, their
I
business.
just don't like that figure in there as.
It's an up to. It's an up to.
Thanks, Don.
Yeah, I would like, this is Gwen. I would like to mention. Well,
Still feedback.
Hey,
Well,
yeah, if we
I
mute in the room, would that be better? Okay, Treasurer Henry, go ahead and try that now. I think that might help.
well, I moved my phone. I moved my
Alright.
phone, so hopefully that helps.
Yeah, it's a little better. Go ahead.
There was an amendment. There was an amendment to this contract done in December of 2020. And we were not a participant of the amendment. We didn't even know it had occurred. There were two things taken out and put in as optional services. One of those is an absolute essential, the Tyler cashiering. You know, I don't know if people don't understand how we work, but we do cashier on a regular basis to collect money. So we do need that cashiering option. $105,340 was taken out of implementation services and put back in under optional software services, which made no sense to us. One of them was the field mobile, which we're wanting to do so that we can have this on with an app on the phones. So the 105 was moved out of one, put down below, but we don't believe it should be an optional services, so that when it comes back and we add it to it, somebody's going to say, wait a minute, you just upped the expense. It really should have been there to start with. And we were not consulted in the December amendment to take those out.
Don, are you able to speak to that?
Beg pardon?
Jim McGuire.
I can cover that. There was a request from our partner Tyler to just re-express the contract. We changed something that had been included to be an option. They also moved money out for us to do that. So the option can be enabled. The board has already approved the overall amount, so there would be no need to go back to the board to request that option. We could just enable that option. The cash is there for it. And so we're able to proceed without coming back to the board. It was just a request from Tyler for their accounting purposes to do that change, and we did it since there was no change to the overall contract amount.
I just want to say we're uncomfortable having it be an optional service because it's not, and it never was an optional service. So we don't know what their accounting method was to want it taken out. And I don't think you do either, Jim. We've asked them now, and they're supposed to get back to us on that, why they wanted it taken and moved.
Okay, and I gave you the contact yesterday. I worked with Angel.
Well, I know, and we're working with them too.
Yeah, and you'll be able to explain it. That was a request. It seemed to be a reasonable request. We accomplished that request and also requested defer payment until this fiscal year. Our first payment was due back in February. We got that moved to this fiscal year.
But it was only due in February because they were supposed to start. And come March, when the pandemic came, they said, no, we're not traveling, we're not starting, we want to do the third quarter. And so we said, well, then we're not going to give you any money now if you're not going to start. And that seemed to be the problem that some of the other counties had with Tyler. They prepaid and then didn't get the work started. So we said, no, you're going to start before we give you the payment.
Thank you. The first milestone, we had changed it to milestone payments. The first milestone was just simply contract signing.
I know, but Jim, that was on the assumption that they were going to begin the work. And when they said, we're not beginning the work, we're not coming, we're not traveling, we said, we don't give you the first milestone. The milestone is to check it out and see if they've done it. And we did not give it to them because they were not coming to do any work.
So the change at your request was included in the amendment. We did that
Correct.
To ensure that we would not be invoiced and expected to pay that.
Right.
So if I could just ask a clarifying question, I want to make sure I understand your answer. So the contract amount, the $7,178,196. That includes lines for some travel as well as these things they asked us to call optional, but we understand are not. So you will not have to come back for this body of work. You will just spend the full contract amount if we were to spend all that travel. Is that correct?
Yes, first of all, the travel is fully reimbursable. Only based on what actually they incur, the cost they incur toward expense. We suspect with COVID, there's gonna be less travel. People are prepared to work remotely. We're likely to accommodate that. So the second part is the option. They moved the money out from the option that was included, because that's not how they usually like to express it, and made it appear as an option, but they gave us the cash back to enable that option. But just a matter of telling Tyler, because cashiering comes later in the process, that we want the cashiering option and we'll be invoiced for it accordingly, but the money is available.
Okay, so we have full confidence that that will be able to be executed and included and meet the needs that Treasurer Henry has without us needing to do any further expenditures.
That amendment did not cost the county any funds if we enable the cashiering option.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right, does that help, Treasurer Henry?
I beg pardon?
Did that help get you the answers you
Well,
needed for this item?
we've been through the whole discussion, and there was no reason to change it. So just, hopefully Mr. McGuire will still be around when the time comes and we have to pay for cashiering, which will not be too far away.
All right, so if we have any follow-up, I think, from the vendor with any other information, let's share that with the group next time about sort of how these logistics work, just to make sure we're keeping our eye on it. Remember, did you have a question?
Well, can't we exercise the option today as part of our approval of the contract? So it's clear that the option is part of whatever we're paying for today, if they're saying there's not supposed to be any cost to it?
We could, again, we feel that it's already incorporated in the amendment, but we could say that we're intending to take the option. I'm not sure how we'd handle that. Sure. Yeah.
So I'm trying to think of how this is put in. Is it called an option because it's not part of the standard software package? It's like an add-on? And is that why they wanted to track it that way? Because there's the normal parts of the platform they build and then the additional services?
I can answer, absolutely, that's exactly what it is. And I think what had probably happened, I'm guessing a little bit here, is they probably included it in contracts prior to maybe a couple of years ago. When they first sent it to us, it was included in the package. They looked at it and said, wait a minute, that's not how we're doing contracts now, they're optional. However, we'll drop the price of the contract so you can buy them if you want them, and it'll still be the same price. So it's basically, I think what happened was there were customers that didn't want cashiering and didn't want the mobile piece, and so they asked them to be pulled out. So I think that in an answer to their clientele, that's how they did it. So it's in my mind, a procedural kind of a thing on Tyler's side. And if the treasurer and the committee, the finance committee, tech committee, finance committee board agrees, we can buy the options. That's it.
But they're included in this current estimate. We're already saying we're going to do.
Could I explain how it happened to be in? They specifically said, this is something we assume you want, and we will include it in the package. It was not because other people had used it. We had talked about the need for it, and they were including it in what we were purchasing. It wasn't something that other people purchased and maybe you'd want, but yes, we had explored it and we did want it.
They had stated that it was included in the RFP response.
Yes, it was.
So again, 2 months later, I get a call from Angel Jared saying, hey, listen, we're asking basically a favor. Would you mind re-expressing the contract to show it this way? We looked it over. We actually went through that twice with them over the phone, and it seemed to be a reasonable request, so we accommodated them. At the same time, we got our request in to delay payment to fiscal year 21. COVID was just emerging at the time, so people were figuring out they were not doing anything for months. So we said, can you delay the first contract signing payment that was due for $52,000 until fiscal year 21, which we're in now.
All right, Clerk Adams.
So just a quick question. Does the fact that it's now optional mean that Tyler may have the right to not do this portion in the future? Like, does it mean that they, like, we know that we want to do this option? Can they later say that they don't want to do this option for us, do this part for us?
No, the option is still included in the contract, and we're going to take advantage of it, and they know that. So it was just simply to accommodate.
So if we say that we want it for sure, they have to perform that part of the contract?
Yes, yes.
It's our option. It's not their option, it's our option.
All right, any further questions or comments before we go to a vote on this item? Yeah, Member Eckhoff?
I just had a concern, but I know we're far down the road on this, but a couple years ago when Tyler was forced on the circuit clerk's office, I had a lot of concerns about it and did some research, and they seem to have been sued by many states and counties. And I'm just wondering what their track record is. I know I saw in the background material for today that they've got contracts with Lake and Cook, but they seem to have quite a history of not fulfilling their contracts. And I'm wondering if our background check, not just for this system, but for other systems, investigated any of that.
I could say we have checked, and Lake is complete and is done. They got what they wanted and asked for. Cook, however, is a whole different ballgame. They're different than DuPage County, and they've got a 5 and 8 year window to put it in.
All right, well, I just want to make sure we're not buying a piece of litigation here.
Don, could you maybe speak to the selection process to how we landed on Tyler? Because I think that might help address Member Eckhoff's question.
Sure. We actually hired a consultant to write a requirements document for us because the system is so complex and complicated. We pulled all the departments and offices that use the software, understood what it was that we wanted, what it did and what we wanted. So an as is and a to be model. And then we put that RFP out on the street. I believe we had, I think there were just 2 responses. Gwen, you can tell me, but I know there were 2 that we interviewed.
There were 3.
There were three. Oh, that's correct. And one of them.
There are only 2 responsible.
Yeah, right. One of them did not meet the specs. We demoed 2 systems, picked Tyler, and so that was the process.
I understand all that. I'm just saying that, you know, Tyler obviously went through that with a number of other governmental agencies in the past and ended up in court. And I just want to they seem to have come out of that maybe a little bit, because I'm a little bit surprised that their system with the circuit clerk's office is working better than I expected it to. But it still was an inferior product compared to what we had before. And I just want to make sure that they don't have a current history of, you know, litigation. We sign this and boom, 6 months later, a year later, they're not performing and we end up in court.
Well, we're using a system that's 40 years old, Grant. And this is a better system.
40-year-old system? That's older than some people on the county board.
That's exactly right.
Madam Chair, if I might.
Now, I know our current system is ancient and then we need a new one. I'm just saying, I want to make sure that Tyler, you know, is capable of performing without us sending the state's attorney into court.
Was perhaps some of the milestone tying in that was added to the contract that you were talking about earlier, is that can that help us in that regard? If there's some issues with them, that we have milestones that we can withhold payment?
Yeah, we use the milestones with ETSB too, and you know, we've gotten some leverage over Hexagon on that, but I just want to make sure from the get-go that, you know, we're not going to run in, at least we don't, we haven't seen in our research that they've had a problem. So.
Madam Chair, if I might.
Yes, please.
So we're very familiar with Tyler. We own the utility billing product that we're putting in Public Works. Almost every municipality in the area uses Tyler for ERP. Tyler for tax has been a stable product. In the courts, I know for sure on the e-filing side, we were disappointed with the Tyler system as compared to what we had And I think that was because the system we had was fantastic. It was custom built and really, really a nice system. And Tyler is an off-the-shelf system. They come in and implement it. And I think we were not as happy with that as we were with our prior system. But they're a very large company that has a lot of different applications and systems in their portfolios. And I think the treasurer has said this before, on the tax side, it's a completely separate piece from the other pieces in the business. And it's been a stable product. It's been the best tax system in the industry, probably for the past 5 years, at least that I know of. So they're really the leader in the industry. Where they've had issues has been, Grant, to your point, is in project management, which we're trying to address with a third-party project manager that we have on the project. That's been their fall down. Their technology's been good. Their execution has not been as good. So that's what we're trying to mitigate with the project manager.
All right, I just want to say my piece.
Understood.
I know, I think that's helpful, Member Eckhoff. Don, maybe next time we have a call, we can try to think about some check-ins to provide this body with some updates, just to make sure we all have our heads in this project, because it's such a big one. All right, so I think we have a motion and a second, correct?
Yes, we do.
Okay, any further comments or discussion? All right, seeing none, let's go ahead and call the roll, please.
Rutledge,
Aye.
Spellman,
Aye.
White, Adams,
Aye.
Berlin,
Aye.
Carrier,
Aye.
Chavez,
Aye.
DeCiani, Eckhoff,
Aye.
Hart, Henry,
Aye.
Hendrick.
Aye.
We have 9 ayes and 1 abstain.
All right, thank you. Our next item is 2021-10, recommendation for the approval of a contract to Sargent Laboratories for annual Aristotle Insight Network licensing renewal for the period of March 1st, 2021 through March 1st, 2022, for a total contract of $24,268.73.
So moved, Rutledge.
Second Chavez.
All right, any comments, questions, or discussion on this item?
Second Eckhoff.
All right, thank you. Seeing none, let's go ahead and do a roll call, please.
Rutledge,
Aye.
Spellman,
Aye.
White,
Aye.
Adams,
Aye.
Berlin,
Aye.
Carrier,
Aye.
Chavez,
Aye.
DeCiani, Eckhoff,
Aye.
Hart, Henry,
Aye.
Hendrick.
Aye.
All ayes.
Thank you. Next up is our informational items and DTP 22-21, an agreement between the County of DuPage and Acela Inc. for annual subscription services for software integration between Acela Online Permitting Software and Bluebeam Plan Review Software for a period of February 9th, 2021 through November 30th, 2022 for zoning and building, which they have $11,770.84 of this contract. Stormwater management, they have a similar amount, just 1 cent less. DOT, similar amount, 1 cent less. Public Works, similar amount, 1 cent less, for a total amount of $47,083.33.
So moved, Rutledge. I'm awake today.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Any questions about this item? Seeing none, let's roll call, please.
Rutledge,
Aye.
Spellman,
Aye.
White,
Aye.
Adams,
Aye.
Berlin,
Aye.
Carrier,
Aye.
Chavez,
Aye.
DeCiani, Eckhoff,
Aye.
Hart, Henry,
Aye.
Hendrick.
Aye.
All ayes.
All right, thank you. That's adopted. Any old business? Seeing none. Any new business? All right, can we get a motion and a second to adjourn, please?
So moved.
Second.
All right, roll call, please.
Rutledge,
Aye.
Spellman,
Aye.
White,
Aye.
Adams,
Aye.
Berlin,
Aye.
Carrier,
Aye.
Chavez,
Aye.
Yanni, Eckhoff,
Aye.
Hart, Henry,
Aye.
Hendrick,
Aye.
all ayes.
All right, thank you, everyone. See you next time.
Thank you.